What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of K&A podcast. Took a little bit of a break, but now we're back ready to get straight at it. And that's always all the other side. We have JJ. How you doing today?
I'm good, man. We're fresh out of that sunken place, bro.
And we have a special guest.
Yeah, man.
Boy.
Davis, man.
Jimmy Graham.
Yeah, man.
What? They remember my name.
Bro, the guy that thinks Jimmy Graham is still in Seattle, ladies and gentlemen. He probably thinks Khalil Mack is in Oakland.
Oh, dude, Khalil Mack's a tank in Oakland.
Yeah, bro. Amari Cooper's pretty good too in Oakland.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. He's mocking that.
He looks good.
You out? I'll let you go. You got
I said he's mocking, but he's gotta be good.
Alright. With that, today we'll be doing a new little segment called Expected or Unexpected. Mr. JJ is going to have on his cellular device the records of every NFL team that's 32, and here Davis is going to have expected or unexpected on that record, and we can explain why we gave that answer already.
Alright, to spice things up, we're kind of going to go with an AFC team, then an NFC team, and kind of rotate in that order. So in the AFC, we're going to start off with the Miami Dolphins at 5-6. Expected or unexpected?
Can I go first?
Yeah, you can go first.
Alright, I'm going to have to go with expected.
Alright, you want to tell the people at home?
Well, I don't hate or like Ryan Tannehill. He's just a guy to me. That's how I feel about the quarterback situation. Going into this season, I've always been a big fan of their defense, but I didn't expect them to be as good as they used to be, which was right on that. They had a good start, which was kind of like worrying. I mean, not worrying, but like it was crazy to me. I thought they were going to be able to keep it up, but as you see, that didn't work out. It didn't last that long. So I'm gonna have to go with the expected because I expected for them to have a bad record.
All right, Davis. Expected or unexpected?
Definitely unexpected. Did not think Dolphins were going to be 6-5 competing for the wild card. And I don't know much about the Dolphins. They're not my team, but I will say, what was it? I just had it. Sorry.
It's okay, man.
They're winning a lot of close games. That's how they get dubs. So, I mean, when you win close games, you can go either way.
For sure.
But as long as you get the dubs, alright?
Right.
That's also true. Well, let's see. Miami Dolphins 5-6. I'm gonna say expected. I expected them to be under 500 for sure. I expected their defense to play above average. I expected the quarterback situation to be what it is, because Tannehill has had a history of injuries over the last few years. I expected, for them to be in a couple of close games like Davis touched on, and I didn't expect them to make the wild card. I didn't expect them to make the playoffs at all. But they're there. They're just hanging out. Number 10 pick in the draft, probably. Who knows? But yeah, that is the Miami Dolphins. Now to the NFC. Like I said, I'm gonna switch it up a little bit to the NFC now.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Do something quick?
Yeah. Go ahead.
If we want to make wait.
One more thing to add on the Dolphins.
Yes.
I do. They're either winning a lot of close games or getting blown out because they're getting up more points than they're scoring. I don't know how that's possible.
Alright.
But
okay, so just if we want to make this interesting, we can make this into a show segment where we can split this half and half. We can either go AFC today, NFC tomorrow, or we can just do like 8 teams from the AFC, 8 teams from the NFC. However we want to do today. Just to make it where we can, give them a treat for next week. I like that. How do you like that?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. Yeah, we'll do the AFC, and then next week after everybody's played, we can touch on the NFC.
Okay.
So fair enough. So back to the AFC, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to go with the. This is a team Davis knows pretty well. The 6-5 Colts, expected or unexpected?
Yeah, Davis, I give you more.
I think Davis, he should go.
Unexpected, bro. What Andrew Luck is doing this season, gotta give props to the man. Did not think he was up for it, but man, he got it done. The offense is the reason they're winning.
I called it too, ladies and gentlemen. At the beginning of the year, I told y'all I was a big fan of Andrew Luck, and he has definitely proven it. The only thing he can do differently is work on his interceptions. Other than that, he's having a good day. He's having a good year. Anything you want to know? I just had to say that, Davis.
No, you can keep going. That's all I had to say. Offense.
Your own team. You can get some names, some information. Like,
throw it out there.
I mean, our defense is doing good, bro. The rookie Darius Leonard. I mean, he's gonna be. Thank God. We still our corners could still be a lot better, but I mean, our team wasn't expected to do this good. So honestly, it's crazy.
Alrighty. Oh, you want me to go ahead?
Yeah, I'm not gonna last this time.
It might be my team, but I'm biased, and you know what I mean.
We feel that. I'm gonna say unexpected, mainly because Andrew Luck's first year back. Even if we expected him to do good, there's always gonna be questions like long term and like how's he gonna look after nearly 2 years of no action. And I think he's answered those questions by saying, "Hey, if my team was a little better, I'd be the MVP." That's basically what he's been saying out there.
I like that.
No, it's not your turn. I'm just playing. Go ahead.
You piece of shit. Is Andrew Luck an elite quarterback?
Is he an elite quarterback?
After this year, definitely.
Okay. Why?
You know why?
Sure.
Because the elite quarterback in Andrew Luck never went away. He just had some injuries for 2 years, and he was on the verge of becoming great. You feel what I'm saying?
Alright, don't be a yourself, JJ. If you disagree or agree, tell us why.
Well, I'm gonna finish talking about the team, and then I'll focus on the player, Andrew Luck, because he does play with 52 other teammates. So we're gonna start with his team first. This offensive line deserves a lot of credit. Can we just start there? Like,
sure.
The dude hasn't been touched in like 5 or 6 weeks.
They did get touched though, right?
Well, you know what I mean. He hasn't been brought to the ground with the football in his hand in like 5 weeks. I'm pretty sure he's been touched, but yeah, basically what we're trying to say is the offensive line as a whole has not given up a sack in like 5 or 6 weeks, and
which going into this season we had them as one of the worst.
Oh yeah.
Mainly because we didn't expect one player to kind of make the difference, but
okay, yeah, that's the question I'm about to bring up then.
Quentin Nelson.
Quentin Nelson make that line. Is he that line pretty much?
I'm not going to say he is the line, but he definitely made it a lot better than what people would have thought originally.
As a guard. So as a guard, you could say that he's made that line a little bit better.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You gotta think, bro. He's a rookie, bro.
Well, then the question's going to be like, if he's make that line better, then how does he affect the tackles? How does he affect the other guards, center? Which I agree. I do think he made that line better. I just want to see y'all's take on it. Why? How does he affect that tackle? It's not his position. What does he do for that offensive line? Like, is it
I mean, bro. He's part of the O-line. They gotta work together, but it's still all about getting your man.
All about
you gotta get your man.
But the reason I was asking that is because when you think of who makes offensive line, I mean, it typically is a center. You think of a center who, like, that can make an offensive line bad to good. Am I wrong?
Definitely center and left tackle for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So when we sit here and say a guard is made of a offensive line, if we would have said last year a guard in the upcoming league, I'm not going to tell you who is going to make an offensive line better. Y'all would not believe it because a guard is not normally an offensive line good.
All right, I'm gonna follow up on that. As a guy who did play guard, by the way, it's really fun. Trust me, it's my favorite position out of the offensive line because you get to help the center and the tackle. When you're helping the center, you could be double teaming, so Andrew Luck can't get really any pressure up the middle, and you can help the tackle by helping seal the edge. So it's a win-win if you're a guard, pretty much. As long as you're a good guard and you're holding it down, you know, for your tackle, your center, they're going to appreciate it, and it probably boosts the morale of the offensive line. It probably makes them want to play for that guy and play for Andrew Luck, who they haven't had under center in nearly 2 years. So I think a lot of it goes into that, and then obviously Eric Ebron and T.Y. Hilton are helping out a lot. You know, Ebron has, 11 touchdowns, leading all tight ends?
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then, you know, and his big issue in Detroit was trying to find the rhythm and find confidence. And I think with Andrew Luck, there is no question about his confidence or his production.
I would start on that. Eric Ebron, when he doesn't get the target, he is not good. But he's had a couple games this season where he's just gone off, so that's kind of boosting his stats a little bit. But he's performing really well.
Yeah, I think he's had at least 3 or 4 games with at least 2 touchdowns or more, but hey.
He had 3 touchdowns with like very few catches.
Yeah, I think he had 5 catches and 3 of them were touchdowns in a game. And then
like
the defense, there's still holes on the defense, right? But you got a nice young rookie in Darius Leonard.
Aaron.
And then you got, of course, the defensive line's looking all right. You got Marcus Hunt, who's had an underrated year. I mean, the secondary needs some work, but when you got Malik Hooker, when you got your safeties taken care of, you definitely can draft a good corner or two or get a good corner. The safeties look good. Darius Leonard looks good. The Colts look good. It is a little unexpected, but man, when you're winning games, you got to think the Colts could be a wild card team. They could be. They have a chance.
And honestly, as me, that would be fun to see.
I would like to see. I would like to see Andrew Luck against the Chargers defense or against the Patriots. You know, that'd be cool. Something different.
I mean, he's very familiar with the Patriots. They just don't win against them.
Yeah, but you know, some intriguing matchups there as well. Against Pittsburgh, against the Chargers, or whoever gets in. You know, I think it'll be very interesting.
For sure.
Anything you want to add, Aaron?
Yeah, just one little thing.
Yeah.
Just a little crazy little idea. I think the Colts is the few teams, or one of the teams in the NFL that can pull an upset against the Saints right now. If they win the battle next week, I feel like they can pull an upset.
I think they can make it a game. They can make it a game. I'll definitely say that.
Let's just hope they don't come back down to earth.
Alright, we're on top of it. Sorry guys, I'm sorry to get y'all into that. I just had to know. I couldn't let that go by me. I had to see y'all's intake on that.
Alright, we're gonna shift gears here real quick. Speaking of shifting gears, a team that started out hot, now they are cold. Talking about the Cincinnati Bengals at 5-6. Expected or unexpected, guys?
Well, I can say I expected them to fall off.
I think we all did.
5-6.
I expected this because we've seen this before in 2015. They started off, didn't they?
They were they were 9-0. They finished 11-5, I think, and then they were eliminated first round. Typical Bengal fashion.
I expected this record, and I expected to get worse. I know. I had to throw that out there. I just can't trust Andy Dalton at quarterback. I know that might be messed up to say, or y'all might agree or disagree, but
I think we all agree. I think that's fair to say. Davis?
Yeah, he had it for a little bit, not anymore.
So, how do you feel about like the Bengals? Expected or unexpected of them?
Well, they're 5-6, you said.
Correct. Yeah. Started out 3-1.
So that's expected, honestly.
All right.
I don't even care that they started out 3-1. Like, the Bengals, all they have is AJ Green, damn near.
Yeah, AJ Green, Joe Mixon, Gio.
Yeah, Joe Mixon.
He calls up the whole roster. He's like, yeah.
They're not necessarily out of it yet because they're still 5-6. Like.
Yeah, I mean they're still in the hunt. Yeah.
They definitely fell off, and I didn't even expect them to do that well. So, yeah, expected.
Yeah. I expected them to fall off. I tried, and we said it on past.
What was their schedule easy in the beginning of the season?
Intermediate.
It wouldn't have been, but it wouldn't have been, but some of the teams had injuries and stuff, so it helped them out. Yeah.
At the Falcons,
Well,
anyway.
Play the Falcons,
At Atlanta.
Yeah, pretty much. That's where he's getting at. Yeah, definitely expected. I expected them to fall off. You know, me and Aaron tried saying in a past podcast, you know, the Bengals are gonna fall off. We're gonna figure out who these teams really are.
I forgot we said that on air.
Yeah, we said we're gonna figure out who they really are in November and December, and we're figuring it out. They're a fraud. Identity theft. Identity theft. We got the Halloween identity theft. They're not a contender. They were pretenders all along. And listen, there's a lot of players on this team I like. I like Joe Mixon, AJ Green, of course, and a couple guys on that defense. Jesse Bates has been balling out as a rookie, but we knew what they were going in. People see them going 3-1, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, maybe the Bengals have an opportunity to make a wild card." No, buddy. They still can, but it's no. Just no. We didn't expect it to happen. That's why we expected them to do bad, which is why we're saying we expected this record of 5-6.
Hey, as you just said, JJ, we knew what they are coming in. We still know what they are coming out.
Yeah, I mean they haven't won a playoff game in like I don't even know. We'll just say 20 years.
Going off the wall, but this is just leading up to so many questions that I got another one. I'm sorry, Jim.
Go ahead.
Andy Dalton's fault.
Okay.
Can you put this on Andy Dalton?
No, in football, bro, you can't blame one player, dog.
Thank you.
Okay, I agree.
Thank you.
I mean, hold on. To expand on that.
I agree.
You can blame one player if they're playing just absolutely garbage. You know what I'm saying? Like, if your quarterback's throwing 4 picks, you can blame him. Like, you have all right. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to follow up on that with a few of these teams later on why they're doing so good or so bad. But can you blame Andy Dalton for this season? No, because we knew who Andy Dalton was before the season started. We know who he is now, and we'll know who he is next year. He's just not a good quarterback. He has spurts where he's good, but he's not consistent enough to be considered a good quarterback. So we kind of already knew. Fair enough. Or he's just not healthy.
Don't you need to be good in the playoffs?
That's what we're getting at. He's
not good. And then when the team was 9-0, he suffered that thumb injury. And then the team just went on a downhill fall with AJ McCarron. He came back for the playoff game, and they were ass. He wasn't really on his game either. But when it comes to blaming one person, you can't necessarily just blame one person. There's 53 people on a roster. You can't just blame one person. If he's playing bad, yeah, he deserves some of the blame for sure. But when there's other weaknesses, out there, they deserve accountability too. You know what I'm saying? It's not just one person.
There are 11 on the field, JJ?
Mm-hmm. One quarterback, 5 offensive linemen, and your other personnel. Yep, 53 members on a roster. They deserve, I mean, if they're playing bad, if it's one person playing bad, then, you know, I can see it.
But you can't also say here, right? Quarterback is the one position that gets that ball
you could,
to
you
everywhere.
could technically carry. Alright, I will say that.
Listen, y'all say that you can't put a blame on quarterback, but you can also you have to here and say that he is the one that gets the ball in the receiver's hands. He's the one that gets the ball in the running back's hands. It all comes from him. So if that offense is scoring point figures, I'm just saying you have to at some point you have to man up the point figures at somebody.
Yeah,
Well,
that's fine, and that's fine. Yeah, go ahead, Davis.
I'd say for that, Aaron,
That's
that
good. I'm proud of myself.
I'm not.
people who don't look into sport and are just having a general overview, looking at a team, you're gonna blame the quarterback. If someone knows what they're actually talking about and they're gonna get into it, most people will know the problem. You feel me?
Absolutely, and
Can you
go ahead,
can
Aaron.
you give some examples? Can you give like an example of what you mean?
No, because I don't watch the Bengals.
Okay. Alright.
I'm sorry, I don't watch the Bengals.
I've probably seen them play 3 or 4 times. I can't just sit here and say, yeah, I watched them all the time.
I
But
watched them one time.
I watched them play the Browns last weekend. That was great. We'll talk about Cleveland later.
Fantastic matchup.
35-20. Yeah, I think you can absolutely blame the quarterback. But Aaron, to follow up on what you said, when the ball leaves the quarterback's hands, it's not in his control anymore.
Yeah.
So if the running back fumbles after he hands it off, that ain't on Andy Dalton. That's on the damn running back. Should have held on to it. When AJ Green or somebody drops a pass or fumbles it, guess what? It ain't on Andy Dalton. It's on the guy that dropped it or fumbled it.
I mean, you're right.
I know I'm right. Thank you for coming around to it.
We're gonna be smart on the show. Is that what we're doing here?
Nah.
But we
I
just,
can say it too.
I'm
talking back.
Yeah.
Alright, Mr. Jimmy Graham, you say this.
Alright.
I'll talk about Jimmy Graham on the NFC one later.
Is that your only comeback, Aaron? Oh.
You know what? You're on your own podcast, bro.
Why? Say it. Nah, we got a time limit. We can't.
I don't care that your elbow.
Alright. This is the most we've talked about the Bengals. I don't want to talk about them anymore.
Yeah.
There's more deserving teams out there. Let's talk about let's see here. The Buffalo Bills at 4-7. Expected or unexpected?
A Bill?
The Bills, yes. 4-7.
Oh, expected. Lost quarterback. Don't really know their identity yet.
I mean, pretty straightforward, yeah.
Yeah, pretty straightforward.
Yeah, that was, we all agree on that, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much expected.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's unexpected. We expected them to be 16-0, you know. Obviously.
Oh, no.
Leave it to us to find a way to let us talk about the Bills for 20 minutes.
No.
Come on.
Yeah, we gotta.
I'm just gonna say this: the Bills have played 4 different quarterbacks this season.
Yeah. And some of them have had good games. Some of them have had really bad games.
Yeah. They've played Josh Allen, Nathan Peterman, Derek Anderson, and Matt Barkley.
Like I know Peterman got a good dub for them, but they're only 4-7. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Pretty trash. Aaron, you want to follow up on them being 4-7? Like, do you have anything to add?
Literally hit it, right? They're the Bills, okay?
Yikes! You mean the playoff Bills from last season? No, I'm just playing. All right, moving on. What about those 2-9 Oakland Raiders? Expected or unexpected?
They expected.
Oh.
And going, let me, just because I have a mistake, I'm gonna go first.
Yeah.
We expected, because as you can see on the first episode of our first ever podcast, I am pretty sure that, you're the first or second.
Yeah, we both said it was a dumpster fire.
Yep, you know where I was going with this. Me and JJ stated and put that it's going to be the dumpster fire of the NFL this year, and thank you for proving us right.
Did a great thing.
Yep, now, because you just got, and I don't let me and JJ said at the beginning of the season, you can go ahead.
I mean, it's expected, man. They traded their best player for some draft picks. When a team does that, you know they're going down the crapshoot.
And those draft picks aren't even going to be that great either, because Bears are pretty much a playoff team.
Exactly. And I'll touch up on the Bears later too.
Yeah, when we talk about this NFC.
No, definitely expected for Raiders. They got a new coach, John, but I don't know. A lot of people don't like him, especially after what he's done this season. Hasn't really proved anything as a coach.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. They beat Cleveland and they beat somebody else. They shouldn't have even beat Cleveland, but I forgot who the second team they beat.
They got cheated, bro.
Wait.
Hold on.
Yeah, they beat Cleveland. They shouldn't have beat Cleveland. I forgot the second team they beat. I think it was a.
Wait, did they beat the Baker Mayfield Cleveland or? No.
Yeah, it was Baker's second game, I think. It was after.
Right.
It was after they beat the Jets.
He was still getting into it though. You know?
Yeah, I don't think they shouldn't have lost. It was like 45-42 in overtime.
Yeah, that's a close one. Browns are playing good. As long as the Browns see improvement.
Yeah, we're going to talk about them shortly. The Raiders definitely expect it. Me and Aaron called it. I'm pretty sure other people out there felt the same way. But yeah, we said they'd be a dumpster fire. I mean, you got a coach that's coming back into coaching for the first time in 12 years. Did you really expect them to be good? I mean, let's just be real here. When you are when you're out of your profession for over a decade, the game continues to innovate. You really expect to just pick up your Spider 2Y Banana playbook and just come back? What is this, a nostalgia trip? Like, come on. You have 2 wins. One's against Cleveland. Real. I can't even remember the other team you beat. And you trade away Amari Cooper, and you trade away Khalil Mack. You got 2 draft picks now that are basically not going to be great draft picks, because the way Dallas is looking, which we'll talk about later in the NFC version of this, and then of course the Bears, who look like a playoff team. Talk about them later.
Bright side for the Raiders though, draft pick.
True that, but they got to hit those draft picks, man. Even if it doesn't work out like next season, John Gruden's there for 10 years. It just needs to work, period. If it doesn't, then it's not going to be a good look for him. I mean, his first draft, as a coach, like just there, they took Colton Miller. He doesn't look like he's going to be that great, but he could be a project tackle that's good 2 years from now. Who knows? So I guess if you're going for a rebuild, just doing the whole thing from scratch, because let's be real, even if they kept their roster, I don't think they were going to be any better from last year. Like, even with Khalil Mack on the roster, I still think they would have got 6 wins. So, not trying to, put any salt in the wound, but just calling a spade a spade. Do you think they would have been You think they would be a playoff team?
My bad. They would only have
not a playoff team, but Khalil Mack's pretty good.
Yeah, for sure. But do you think they would be a 500 team with the same roster from last year and a new coach?
No, I think they would have had a better quarterback for sure. No.
Yeah, because last season they went 5-11, so I'm not gonna just say like they would have been better, but Anyway, we're not gonna talk about the trash Raiders anymore. Let's go ahead. Let's talk about the Cleveland Browns, 4-6-1. Expected or unexpected?
David, go first on this one.
Mr. Richardson?
Expected. The Browns came into the season with 0 wins and 2 well, not 0, 1 win and 2 seasons. And
Yeah.
they're just trying to get improvement, dude. I don't know what you want from them, but they're a really young team. They gotta pick things up.
I think anything for them is an improvement.
Exactly. If they got 4 wins already, like that's improvement if I've ever heard.
Yeah, they've increased their win percentage by 400%.
Yep. Watch the truck.
How do you feel about that team, though? Like, have you seen, like, a couple of games, I assume?
Baker's playing good.
Facts.
I like David Njoku. He's really odd.
I'm a big fan of David. I don't know
Yeah.
about you, JJ.
Yeah, I like him. I'm glad he's finally getting the football.
Right.
Oh, so you feel like he has it?
So you think? Do you think Tyrod was playing bad, or Mayfield's really good? Or do you think the team is playing better? That's why I want to ask you.
I think the team definitely got more juice when Baker entered the lineup. I'll just put it like that, you know, and they have 4 wins with Baker at quarterback, but, you know, I'm not going to put wins on just one player either, so the team's been playing well,
Yeah.
you know, they've been playing a lot
That's what
better.
I'm saying.
I think they definitely got more juice and more energy with Baker out there because he's a really fiery, competitive guy, where Tyrod's a, okay, let's just try to get this done type of guy. But you get...
But the thing about Tyrod is, one of you is probably going to disagree with me, but he is somebody that can't get it done. Some people say that they're just to get it done. I he can't. That's
No,
how he
well, dude, Tyrod, he only played 3 games.
Yeah, I
How many
think...
games did he play?
Yeah, about 3.5, yeah.
But he played bad. He didn't play bad in every single one of those games. The team was still finding themselves. So to put the reason why the Browns are winning on Baker Mayfield is such a media thing to do.
Yeah.
And you can and Tyrod, if he was still starting, I guarantee the Browns would still be getting some steps here and there.
Yeah, I think the Browns, like I said, I feel like they have been playing better because of the energy. Not to say Tyrod doesn't have energy, but, I mean, eye test, you can tell there's a difference if you haven't already. But,
Yeah.
for sure, I mean, Tyrod's not a bad quarterback. He just got back from helping lead the Bills to the playoffs last season due to some circumstances, you know, Andy Dalton
And
getting
he had
some
an
hot wings.
injury.
Yeah, and he had that concussion,
injury.
and it basically put him out. You know, they made the
Alright,
change.
This is going to be a little bit of a weirder question, okay?
Shoot, go for it.
As a quarterback, do you want that quarterback tight end duo, like diamond duo, or do you want that quarterback receiver diamond duo? Just to ask the question, I haven't about this, so I kind of want to start it off. Some people might disagree with me, but I'm gonna have to go with. I want that quarterback. I'm not saying that quarterback doesn't, you know, or doesn't like understand the receivers or anything, but I want that quarterback tight end duo any day. Because when shit hits the fan, you look to your tight end. If you have decent tight end, that's who you look to. Because that's how I feel. Like somebody would say
Not
me
all
with David
teams-
Njoku.
Not all teams can pick up a good tight end though, man.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying if you have a good tight end on your team.
Well then for sure.
So, what's the question? Would I rather have a quarterback tight end duo or a quarterback receiver duo?
Better yet, if you're a quarterback, who do you want to get along more with, your receiver or your tight end? Not get along with, but you want to understand more.
I want to understand everybody. So you can play to the best of your ability.
No, Davis, you blunt. That's the question.
That's tough.
I think that's the answer, right?
Nope.
I mean, it depends. Do you want the potential to have a Tom Brady Gronk connection or the potential to have a Matt Ryan Julio connection? I mean, that's basically what you're asking. So,
Tom Brady Gronk.
Or
I would
my
say.
point, do you want an Andrew Luck connection?
I would just say quarterback and whoever catches the football consistently. How about that?
So you want to add your luck connection?
Like I said, I can't necessarily say tight end or receiver. It's basically quarterback and whoever's opening can make the catch. So either one I'm cool with.
JJ's all about that. JJ's all about that consistency, man. Gotta get shit done.
Yeah, bro. Results league, man.
Dude, football really is. Like
Results.
basketball, man, you can slack for a little bit, but football, you cannot. Wow.
Katie.
Hey, man. Yeah, we gotta move on to a different team, or else we're just gonna be here forever. So,
Alright.
the New York
Hey,
Jets.
that's what it's all about, right?
Do you want to exceed 60 minutes?
It's
reshoot
about
it?
having fun while just discussing topics with
Oh yeah, we gotta
intelligence,
go.
right?
We always have to reshoot it.
Okay, so the New York Jets are 3-8. Expected or unexpected?
Expected. They're trash. Move on.
Yeah, they're bad, but I love my boy Sam Darnold, bro.
They have lucky.
Don't hate on the Jets, man. Let give it a few years.
Yeah, man, I love interception prone Sam too. Yeah, man. I'm gonna say kind of expected, because I think I had them doing a little bit better than what they were doing, but at the same time, it doesn't really surprise me either that they're doing bad.
Yeah.
I feel like they'd be in a lot closer games, but you know, Sam Darnold, yeah, I kind of expected him to just come in here, throw a bunch of picks, let it rip. I mean, he's more of like a long-term type of put some development in him type of guy. I didn't expect him to come in and set the world on fire, but I didn't expect him to throw this many picks either. I thought he had a good, you know, better vision, but hey, it's whatever. They got time, and that's the good thing.
Yep.
Aaron, what do you think about it? Oh, never mind. You already just said they were trash. All right, moving on to the Tennessee Titans. They sit at 5-6. Expected or unexpected?
Go Dows.
Expected 5-6, so they're still competing because you never know which goal. But their offense is really struggling. Their defense is pretty good though. What's that?
Top 3 scoring defense.
And the worst offensive team.
Facts.
7-6. So their defense is winning them games. If the offense can get it together, you never know.
It really, yeah, they give up on they give up an average of 19 points, so really the magic number for them is 20. Can they get to 20 points on offense? And I think that's really the main question.
Going into this game, they know that they get at least 20 points.
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, it's true. I mean, when your defense gives up on average 19, you better score 20. I mean, it is what it is. I'm gonna say expected. I expected them to compete. I had them as a wild card team, maybe getting that 5th or 6th seed, but you know, they still have a chance, but it's pretty slim because there's a bunch of 5-6 and 6-5 teams. But go ahead. Oh God.
Definitely. If you
okay, why? This is funny. I want to.
Clock is ticking.
Think about it in technical terms.
Okay, clock's ticking. Come on, we gotta go. We gotta go.
If a team has more losses than you, but I don't know that I can't do that now.
Okay. Say next team.
Well, I didn't answer the question anyway. Kind of expected. I expected them to compete, but what really confuses me about them is they'll beat the Patriots, but then they'll lose to like a bad team, or not necessarily a bad team, but a team that shouldn't be beating these guys. It's like, how do you hold the Patriots to 10 points, but you let the Texans score 28? You know, like, that just doesn't make sense to me. Like, on average they give up 19, but you know, it's just stuff like that that's really confusing about the Tennessee Titans. Like, they have the talent to be a playoff team, the defense is clicking, but you got to be consistent, you know, and that's a big issue with them. Next team, what about those 3-8 Saxonville Jaguars? Expected or unexpected?
Dude, unexpected for sure. I thought I had them going 12-4 this season, dude. They just haven't. I don't know. Like, normally you can say injuries. I don't know anymore, dude. What happened in Jacksonville?
Yeah. Can I ask you a question, Aaron?
What?
Is it because of Blake Bortles?
You can't blame one person.
Okay, I was just trying to see if you'd stay consistent with that. Good job.
See, all right now. We don't be trying to turn on each other on the podcast.
We're not. I'm just making sure your opinion hasn't changed in the course of 15 minutes. That's all. Things happen, man.
Okay.
Now, Davis.
I didn't have a gun that entire time.
Davis, what do you think personally about Jacksonville being 3-8?
Oh, Jacksonville, dude, I was expecting them to run it this year. Definitely unexpected.
I had them
The offense is lacking.
I had them going up. Oh, I had them going up against either the Packers or the Saints. But what happened?
We'll talk about that that other team.
Texans decided to take that spot over.
This is my AFC South out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if there's no other answer than unexpected. I mean, I had them going 11-5, and you know, it's been rough. You know, like, you're pointing out, okay, like, well, what?
5.
Yeah, I had them going 11-5. I'll be honest. I keep track of my own stocks. I keep up with my own stuff. And yeah, I still have my my notepad, but yeah, like, I had them going 11-5. You know, being like the 3 seed potentially. And listen, I'll be honest. I mean, we're looking at, okay, what went wrong. There's a few things, and it's a little deeper than just Blake Bortles, because if Blake Bortles was so bad, they wouldn't have been in the championship game if it's solely on one person like these people think.
And they wouldn't have almost won. They would have almost won the championship game.
There we go, because Blake Bortles has proven he can play a couple of good games, okay? The 2 games against Pittsburgh were his best. I'm not saying he's a good quarterback, because I've called him trash a lot, but, I mean, you got to give a dude props when he does good. So, you know, we're not going to just build people down. You know, we're going to build them up too. So, it's not just Blake Bortles. You got to consider they did lose 2 left tackles this season. They lost their left guard, Andrew Norwell, who was a new pickup. They lost Marquise Lee. They lost Allen Robinson from 2 years ago because he didn't play last season due to injury. They lost Allen Hurns. So you're really playing with your 4th, 5th, and 6th receiver to start the season. And they lost Mercedes Lewis.
Step up.
Yeah, and it's not only... Yeah, I know. Definitely step up.
And I know it gets to the point where it's like you can't. There's a point where you can't step up no more. Like, it's when you're on like the 4th string, but like, say, how can I write this? I would rather have 4th string receivers than 4th string linebackers. How about that? Do you see where I'm getting at?
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But all receivers are fast. If you have a good quarterback can make any receiver work.
So many people was Green Bay's receivers came in. So many people were worried when Green Bay's rookies receivers came in, and they came in and played a great game, right?
They've looked fairly decent. Yeah, they've looked fairly good. But, you know, I watch these guys every week, so I'll be the judge here. But I'm just going to say it. You know, yeah, they've had a lot of injuries. And I'm looking at the defense, and I'm thinking, okay, well, what's wrong with the defense? They traded Dante Fowler. He wasn't getting on the field that much anyway, so I'm not even going to worry about it. So then you take a step back, and you're like, okay, well, what's really wrong with this defense? And I found two things. Stat guy over here found two things. And it's not only that. That's not a stat, but that is part of it. But I'm gonna go ahead and give you two other parts of it from a statistical standpoint. What if I told you they're below league average in rushing yards allowed? They give up 6 more. I'm talking run defense. They give up 116 yards a game rushing. That's only 5. That's only 5 yards better than the Packers, and they're like ranked in the mid-20s. So you tell me what you think about that. And not only that, and they basically kept the same defensive line. They have Malik Jackson still there, Marcel Darius. They added Taven Bryan from the draft. They basically have the same people.
That's funny, and I know we just went off topic, but I'm really interested in his story when he's coming. So you got any insight on how he's been playing this year?
Taven Bryan, I mean, he's okay. He gets in on some plays. He's lined up at D end and D tackle. But... And then I looked at another thing. Their nickname, right? Saxonville. They're not getting anywhere near the pressure they did last season. So there's your two areas right there. Your defense, which has been your identity the past couple of seasons, they got to step up. And they haven't done that this year in terms of the run defense and getting those sacks. When you get those sacks, it puts less pressure on your secondary because they don't have to cover the field for 7 seconds. So... a good pass rush will help. I mean, look at Chicago. Great pass rush. Their corners aren't the greatest, but they're doing their jobs because Khalil Mack and Leonard Floyd is making it easier for them. And we'll talk about the Bears later, obviously, but you ask why the Jaguars are so bad. Injuries, run defense, lack of pressure compared to last season.
There's... Do you really blame injuries, though?
I don't know.
That's the real question, isn't it?
I mean, I don't know. Can you really blame injuries? Is that why some teams are doing worse?
No, you can blame injuries, bro. Injuries happen.
No, I mean, for sure. Like,
not within the team's control.
There was no big injuries.
It doesn't.
I'm tripping about something.
It doesn't matter because injuries are going to add up. It doesn't matter if it's a big name or not. That shit adds up over time. When you lose about 10 guys that were contributing, even if they're not Pro Bowl level players, guess what? You have practice squad people catching passes.
And
production over the name. Now, I know Sam's Club soda doesn't taste like Coca-Cola, but I'm just saying.
I know, right? You realize that?
It sucks. But you know what? 10 of those could equal the production of 1. So I'm just saying, when you lose a lot of productive guys, you know, even if they don't have name value, guess what? It still hurts.
Oh man, you give me 10 random sitters, I'll definitely take that over 1.
Over 1? Thank you. That was the reference I was trying to make. It's a bad reference, but I've heard worse. So.
Fucked it up a little bit. We won't lie. I was wondering where you were going with that.
I've heard way
you ended
worse,
up recovering though.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard worse. I hear like divorce references all the time from that little shithead Aaron Likes, but we're not going to talk about him. But the Ravens are 6-5, expected or unexpected.
This is the hardest one we've done so far for me.
Yeah, I'm an you guys are clearing.
Okay, so why expect it for your sake?
No. I'm going to expect a little twist, okay? I'm going to challenge myself.
I mean, you don't have to do that to yourself, but I appreciate your bravery.
No problem. So, going into this season, I like that roster. I truly do like the roster. They are getting older, but they have a really good defense. And like it's only a couple like decent known guys. It's not like there's like huge names on there that everybody in the world knows about. But they, like you just said, exactly that's why I brought this up. That's kind of crazy. Is that they contribute, like little like names contribute over time, you know?
Yeah.
And kind of glad you brought that up because it's really true.
Thank you. Yeah, go ahead.
But
Okay, so you say unexpected 6 and 5.
I'd say unexpected because I expected them to do worse.
All right. And why did you expect them to be worse? Can I ask?
yeah.
With Flacco.
Yeah.
I didn't know how that old man was gonna play, but their defense is really gonna
That old man. I loved your comment. I loved your comment.
Their defense is stepping it up. They're not playing good within their own division, but if they can work it out and get some wins before the playoffs start, maybe they can fix that divisional team phase.
That's the team I see making the playoffs. I'm just gonna go out there right now. They're probably gonna make like the lower end from the wild card.
You think the Ravens are taking the wild card?
I think
Write that down, JJ.
They are very possible.
Hey, I think it's a 3-team race for that 6th seed. I'm not gonna just sit here and shut it down.
I think it's a lot.
You gotta think about this. I don't know how y'all know about this analogy or this is the right word or not. But look at Cleveland, okay? They were okay. But whenever they got a new head coach in, no one had scout on. No one had scouting. No one had no idea what plays they were running. They came out in ways that they had never done in a long time, and that was tricking teams. So think about it from Baltimore. They didn't get a new coach, but they did they got a new quarterback in. So instead of planning for somebody that's not going to run that much in Joe Flacco, now you have to plan for somebody that has pockets, that can easily run the ball on 3rd down if they have to. And that is something big. It's never easy to plan for a team that can just sit there and run whenever they want because they have a fast quarterback.
Alright, fair enough. And then I'll go ahead and answer the question. I say expected. I did expect him to kind of be in this maybe make the wild card, maybe not situation. I did have them as a playoff team. You know, there's a lot of things to like about Baltimore, not a lot of things to love. They brought in a whole new receiving core, 2 different tight ends, and they're getting their all-pro lineman Marshall Yanda back. So they were getting a lot of new guys back in the groove of things. The defense is the defense. The best known player on that defense is C.J. Mosley, but these guys, top 3 scoring defense, one of the better rushing defenses.
Hang on a second.
They're hard.
Before you gas them up, I have to say, they're on a 2-game win streak. This is the Bengals and the Raiders. So we still need to see, because with that 2-game streak over them, they were 4-5 before that. They play a better team to be out of the playoffs, and we're talking about 3 different stuff right now.
That's true.
Except for having to plan for Joe Flacco, now they have to plan for Lamar. You know, like over just like that. I mean, that's right there is a big factor automatically. You know, change is always good, or a lot of times good in the league. You have so much information on something, and then that information's not there no more because it's changed, you know?
Yeah, and Lamar Jackson stepped in. Of course, they changed the playbook and what plays they preferred to run that suits his skill set, and teams have had to prepare for it. They're running the football pretty well, and I know they're on a 2-game winning streak against 2 suspect teams, 2 bad teams, but you know, they didn't ask him to be bad. They just got to play who's on that schedule, you know? So they didn't say, hey, Bengals, stink up the joint before we play you. You know, they just go out there and take care of business. So the fact that they're doing pretty good now is when they really need to do good. And I do have a question, actually. That we've talked about Lamar Jackson a bit. My question, what have you guys thought of his play?
Not a big fan of it. Not a big fan of it. I expect him to do more, but they completely misused him in his first game in his first game in.
They need to give that man some minutes.
I mean, if the young kid got an arm, just show him. I want to see that arm. I really do. I would love to see Lamar Jackson. I want to see that arm. And You know what I'm saying? It's fun to watch, but you can never have a quarterback that, not saying he is, but you can never have a quarterback that runs every play. I need a nice arm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is it possible that he is? Yes. It's possible that he's not? Yes. I want to see, so hopefully they start giving him a lot more passing opportunities and running opportunities.
Alright, Davis, what do you personally think?
About who again? Sorry.
Lamar Jackson, like, how do you feel about his play overall in the sample size that we have?
Oh, they just need some minutes, bro. He's in college, man. Cheated out of the Heisman a couple times. But, just get the man some NFL experience, dude.
I feel you. I know you guys kind of don't like how he's been playing. My only gripe would be I wish he would get more opportunities to throw. I'd like to see him more on play action.
Like I said.
Yeah, I'd like to see him throw it more. I'd like to see him run some more play action because they're running the football well. But from a fan's perspective, I mean, what is there not to like? That's some analytical shit when you say he should be throwing it more. From a fan's perspective, hey, I don't care if you run the ball 30 times, just don't get whacked in the head, dude. Slide. And he has a tendency to slide, so we don't have to worry about him taking a big shot to the head unless he makes a boneheaded decision.
That is something that is crazy about Dak, is that he does not slide that often. He'll rather take the hit. I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, and he's a big
Jackson,
guy, but he's gonna get his shit knocked loose if he keeps doing that.
Lamar Jackson needs to be friends with Cam Newton and learn his ways.
Cam Newton gets hit more than anybody. I don't think he
No, I'm just saying Cam Newton's ability and his knowledge.
Not his arm. I do not like Cam Newton's arm.
Cam Newton's a runner. So
Alright,
Lamar
good.
Jackson's a runner, so he should probably learn from someone who's
Yeah.
been doing it for a while.
Right. I just wouldn't trust Cam Newton's arm. I trust his running. I just don't trust his arm. No way.
I think Vic's a good enough mentor for him. I mean, that's who he got compared to. Why not have the guy who actually has been training with him, by the way? Why not just have them keep doing what they're doing?
I didn't know that.
And Vic would be happy to do that too. More than happy.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He came out on air, or not on air, whatever you want to call it. Said that.
He was stated saying that, he was also stated saying that he thinks that Lamar Jackson was 5 times better than him when he was in college, so that's high praise.
He's also stated
Now,
that he
players
likes
do
to
say
fight
that.
dogs.
I know, but still, I mean, I don't think Michael Vick's the type of dude to
joking.
butter someone up.
We didn't think Aaron or Tom Brady was the type of dude to butter someone else up. They did it. Literally, what, like 5 hours before the game, quotes started coming out from both players talking about how the other one's better than.
You don't,
yeah,
but you don't think there's some self-respect there too, though?
Then shouldn't it be the same for
What they lie about?
But I feel like quarterbacks respect the hell out of each other. At least
what
the
they
good
do?
ones.
But you always want to butter somebody up, you know? I'm not good.
But I mean, if you were a trash quarterback, like let's say I'm playing Blake Bortles, I wouldn't just come out and say, "Oh, Blake Bortles is a special kind of talent. He's gonna take over the league someday." You know, I don't think anyone's going that far into it. Like, if you're good, you're gonna get props for being good. I don't think anyone's gonna kiss ass at the quarterback position.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like, imagine if Deshaun Watson came out and said, "Oh, Blake Bortles is a competitor," right before he plays him, and they just stomp him out like 40-6.
Over there by the car. Yeah, I see what you're saying. But isn't it to a point where you shouldn't just try to butter up your opponent like that? Like,
No, I agree, but
it's
but I mean, it's okay. I mean, yeah, you're a competitor at heart, but it's okay to just, hey, man, I think this guy's great. I mean, what do you want them to come out and say? He's great, but I'm gonna fucking murk this guy when I see him. Like, what do you want him to say? We give players a lot of shit when they speak their mind, like Jalen Ramsey. So you want guys to be like Jalen Ramsey?
No, I love guys like Jalen Ramsey.
I don't mind the trash talk, you know? Yeah, I'd like him to back it up a little bit
Exactly.
more, but shit, say what you want to.
What is it from his own quarter? He's out here calling other quarterbacks out, but it's one of the worst in the league.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that. I don't think anyone's going to disagree, but what I'm saying is, I mean, hey, at least he was able to call out most of them. I mean, there are guys in this league that wouldn't say a bad thing about him.
Since we were talking about that, okay? You were reported on social media talking about how you were happy that Cody Kessler was on his plan.
I am, yeah.
What would make you want to choose Cody Kessler over Blake?
The fact that you guys aren't making the playoffs, so why not get the kid out there?
Just asking about what that kind of thought.
No, I know. I mean, you're 3-8. You could, if you lose this weekend, you're eliminated from the playoffs. So what the hell do you have to lose? Put him out there. What are you gonna do? Go 8-8 and just have a worse draft pick? I mean,